Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to review the game PixARK on console. Mostly on the PS4 and PS5, because that is the one I played for this review. Sorry I was trying to get this review up last week. It didn't really work out. I wanted to give myself more time with it because I was starting to notice things. I was all hyped up and like, oh yeah, I'm going to give it a great review, and I started noticing things, and I didn't want to give you guys like incomplete knowledge, because if you went out and bought it and you hated it, you'd be like, well, that idiot told me it was great. So I wanted to take a little more time and really just, learn way more about the game, because I spent over 200 hours with it on the Switch, with pre-update, but I've hardly played it with the new update, or at least at that time. So I spent about 50 hours with the game so far, and based off of what it's been like with the old thing, the old pre-update, it's so far it's much better. But anyway, on to the review. So the introduction to PixARK. PixARK is a spin-off franchise separate from Ark Survival. I know a lot of you have been getting confused with that, so I just want to make that clear. It is not part of normal Ark Survival, but it is made technically by the same company, Snail Games. So it is a spin-off. It's a separate game spin-off. This is from the developer. It says, enter a world of mystery, danger, ancient dinosaurs, and mythical beasts, and cubes. Work by yourself or with a tribe of others to gather materials, craft useful items, tame wild creatures, and build huge bases to survive in PixARK. It was released on PC in 2018, and it was released on consoles in May 2019. It's available on all major platforms such as Steam, Epic, PS4 physical and digital, although it currently doesn't show up on the PlayStation 5 store. I'm guessing because it's glitchy or something, so they took it off so they wouldn't have to deal with returns. It is available on the Switch, both physical and digital. It is available on the Xbox brand. I'm not going to go through the SXs, 1Xs, and all that stuff. I'm just going to say the Xbox brand. Both physical and digital, and the Windows Store. It retails for $39.99 US, but it goes on sale quite often on PC. Be aware that the physical versions, I believe, are out of print, or at least it seems that way, due to bad sales, and so finding a new copy of this game is going to be very difficult. If you're lucky, Amazon usually has a couple, and they're pretty cheap. Last I checked, the PlayStation 4 version was like $5 new, from a third-party seller, of course. And the Xbox version was about $17, I believe, new. And then GameStop, last I checked, doesn't even have it listed for new or used. So keep that in mind. So the first section here, the way I review games is I break it up into 5 sections, and each section has a possible of 2 points, which adds up to 10. So if you have any questions, I'll answer them in the comment section below. So the first category is art style and graphics. The art style really pops for the style of game. Bright and colorful, and blocky, as you can see. The world and creatures of Ark are all blocky, like the name of the game suggests, PixARK. Supposed to look like pixelated and stuff. I, for one, kind of wish they just went the cartoony route with the dinosaurs and the character, and then just made the world blocky. But for what they're going for, I get it. I think it suits the game well for what they were going for. Let's see here. It runs in 4K on the Xbox One X, the Series S, X, and on the PlayStation 4 Pro and PS5. The good, it's bright and colorful, fits the game perfectly in my opinion. It's 4K. The bad, the way creatures look might be a big turnoff at first glance for some people. It's like, ooh, what is that? Especially if you're used to normal Ark. But for what the game is trying to do, I think it's really cute and cool looking. So it's different. So I kind of like it. So you're either gonna love or hate it. But so yeah, that might be a turnoff for you. And the score of this, out of 2, in my opinion, gets a 2 out of 2. Next category. The next category is gameplay and controls. Now, just like regular Ark, this is a department that needs work. The normal movement controls work well enough for no issues, but the menus are designed for mouse and keyboard, so navigating the menus to access your inventory or build stuff can be a chore to do. A simple fix would be to just add a cursor like the game Avengers or Destiny, where when you're on the menu it just has like the mouse cursor but you're moving it with the joystick, if that makes sense. That would have been like night and day difference rather than trying to get to the little section of the menu you're trying to get to, just like regular Ark. So that might be... So when you're on the menu, you're like, ugh, because you're like, go to that thing, and it won't do it. So yeah, it should be a simple fix for them. Block building, or base building, can be confusing at first, since they decided to make it like Ark in that regard. So let me explain. You will need to build the foundation first, so you have to build foundation pieces. Then you'll have to add walls. Then you'll have to add a ceiling. And then a door, and etc., etc. So basically they broke it up into pieces instead of just building whatever with whatever block. So that might be a turnoff for you. I kind of wish they went like the Portal Knights or heck, Minecraft route, where you're just given all these different types of blocks, or you can obtain all these different types of blocks and you just go nuts. You don't have to build like a roof piece, a floor piece, a ceiling piece, or whatever. It's all kind of universal. But there's also good things to that, because there's a bunch of different styles of it. They got like aquatic sets, ice sets, ancient Chinese building sets, and all sorts of stuff. So if you take it to time to learn how to build in this game, you can come up with some really cool buildings and stuff. So I kind of like it after you learn how to do it and everything. And since they've added the new tech tier blocks, which I have not unlocked as the writing of this review, I can't wait to see what people make online, if people actually play the game. Give it another chance. Now, on to taming dinosaurs. Taming dinosaurs in PixARK can be difficult, just like regular Ark. You really need to prepare and know the creature you're trying to tame, because there's magic tier, there's tech tier, there's regular, and then I think there's like... Well, no, I think that's it. So there's regular stuff like in regular Ark, so food and all that stuff. And then the magic tier, you have to use like magic items and stuff to tame them, and magic food. And then there's new tech tier stuff, which you have to use tech items to tame. So there's 3 different things to learn. So keep that in mind. So if you're used to that type of stuff, used to taming an Ark, you'll be right at home here. But in my opinion, even with all of the different types, this game is much easier than Ark, because you can manipulate the terrain and use blocks to build traps. So you can dig a huge hole and just have the creature fall in there, unless it's a flying creature. I mean, if you're quick enough, you could probably build like a big hole and then hurry up and fill it up with blocks after you get him stuck in there. So that would work. Once you get the flying creature down, of course. Now, the reason why... There's a certain thing about block building I forgot to mention. In most of these block building games, you can pretty much look down and build endlessly into outer space to use as traversing the world. Now, in this game, you cannot do that. And it's going to bug the crap out of you if you're a Minecraft or a Portal Knights player or any other block game player, because that's like one of the main ways you traverse the world. The reason, in my opinion, why they did this is because they want you to tame the dinosaurs to explore the world. Otherwise, what's the point? I mean, you just build straight up and go over everything. So the reason why building is so limited as far as exploration, I mean, you could still look down and jump, build, but it's kind of spotty, and sometimes you'll get stuck in the block. So if you've played Minecraft or you've played Portal Knights or any of these other block building games, you know what I'm talking about. Now, I kind of rambled on there for a bit. So in the category of gameplay and controls, the good, the combat, building, and taming work well enough. The bad, the horrible menu system, and the block pieces can only work for certain things. I mean, like I said, once you get used to it, it's fine, but when you're first starting out, it's going to frustrate you, so keep that in mind. In this category, I give it a 1 out of 2. Next category, story and purpose. Just like Ark, PixARK has no story, as far as I can tell, but your purpose is the same as Ark Survival. Survive, build, tame, and conquer the randomly generated map and become the alpha. Oh, and on the new map, you scare away aliens? I believe that's the thing. It's a building game, so you know what to expect. The good, simple yet complex, do whatever you want block world. The bad, lack of direction for new players might turn them away. In this category, since it's a block building game, I give it a 2 out of 2. Because it does that pretty dang well. Next category, sound and music. The sound effects are great for this type of game. For what it is, the ambient noises of the world. But the one and only song that plays endlessly every time you go through a portal or start fighting or anything, or load the game up, is going to make you turn off the in-game music. It gets old really fast. And in my opinion, I feel like these games don't really need a soundtrack that's noticeable. More of like Ark or Survival, where it's more of a complement to what's happening on, what's going on right then. Kind of like when you're fighting a boss, so boss music or running away music, stuff like that. You shouldn't notice it. It should just be like the ambiance of the world, in my opinion anyway. Because I feel like it's a distraction, and if you're paying attention, it could be really, really annoying. So anyway, in this category of sound and music, the good, sound effects are great. The bad, one song over and over will make you turn off the songs, the music. In my opinion, this section gets a 1 out of 2. Next category is bugs and performance. Since the Skyward update, I have been playing this on my PlayStation 5, and on PS5 it runs incredibly well. Load times are super fast, the game doesn't crash every 10 minutes like it did on Switch and PS4 Pro. I have encountered some bugs, but only with certain items not working at all. For instance, you still cannot get into the minecart. It has minecarts you can build. It could be super fun, but you still can't get into the minecart, which is annoying because it says in the description, hop in and go wherever. The dying items, so dying colors of items and stuff like that, and dinos still doesn't work in this current update. Painting your house or anything still doesn't work. Basically, the dye system is totally broken still, which is super annoying because, it wouldn't even bring up the menu beforehand. So I was hoping they'd fix that. So you still can't color your dinosaurs. You can't color items. You can't color your house. Anything like that. At least on console. I have not tried this on PC. I have not tried to use the gun bench or the automaton machines, the stuff that does stuff automatically yet. I haven't got that far. I will let you know. So keep an eye on the comments section in the future, and I will tell you how they work. Overall, I feel the game is where it should have been when it launched on console back in May of 2019. And for bugs and performance, the good, it runs very well on PS5. We'll update on last gen in the future, so I'll let you know if it works just as good on PS4 Pro and Xbox. I plan on getting on the Xbox eventually. And as of this moment, the Switch version has still not been updated. I will post an update when they do. So the good, runs very well on PS5. The bad, some systems, like the die, are still broken 2 years after launch. In this category, I give it a 1 out of 2. Because there's progress made, but it's still got a long ways to go. Now, separate from the score here, online modes, because I know a lot of you play these online, especially ARK. Since I do not play these games online, I have no personal data to share for this review. However, I do see lots of topics on cheaters on PvP and PvE official servers for this game, and Snail Games does nothing to stop them since the game is so unpopular and undersold so much. There's not a lot of funding to go fix things. So unless you host your own server, I would not recommend playing on official servers, at least not right now. You can, they're there, but there's been a lot of griefing lately. Most of these topics were lately, and they do nothing to fix it. So be warned. So final thoughts on the game. Now, before you start hating on this game for it taking so long to get it in a playable state, you have to realize the dev team is very tiny. But they are passionate about the game and they respond to Twitter posts all the time. The Steam version still gets updates regularly and has new events for each major holiday. Console gets the shaft due to the big threes charging developers to push updates and their policies regarding such things. I really hope that next-gen upgrade comes out for the system, like they put it on a new disc, put it on a PS5 disc, or what do you call it, Series X disc, and it gets that next-gen love so they can try to get a second chance at life. Because if they can get it to the level it needs to be, I feel it could be a contender to Minecraft. The foundation is right there. The foundation is there. It just needs the financial backing, a great marketing campaign, and support from us, the community, to get it where it could be. So out of all these categories, the score is a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching. I plan to do more reviews in the future. I haven't done it in a long time, so I'm a little rusty. If you like my reviews, let me know, and I plan to review at least 2 games each month. And sorry it took so long to get this one up. As always, thanks for watching, and stay frosty.